got to beat it! Wins the cup for Melbourne Victory!
It is a cup competition we fall in love with every single year. Australia's largest football cup knockout comp. It does return. Hello and welcome to the Australia Cup round of 32 draw. I'm Tara Rushton. It is great to have your company this Wednesday evening and to be joined by two of the best alongside me as well, Daniel McBreen and Andy Harper. Welcome, gents. Great to see you.
Hey, Tara.
Did you get a little bit of sleep in, Harps? You've had quite a big day. No.
How can one sleep when it's cup draw day, Tara?
Well, you're exactly right, Harps, because I haven't slept either. It's the gift that keeps on giving. Some big breaking news as well, because we were on air this morning for the Matildas. Mary Fowler has just signed a 4-year deal with Manchester City, which is huge for her, especially as we are gearing up for the Women's World Cup next year. Enough about that. We turn our attention to the Australia Cup. Daniel McBreen, you definitely saved some of the best moments of your career for this competition, but why do we love it so much? It is the competition that unites the grassroots, the amateurs, the professionals and all of the communities surrounding those clubs together.
And that's the reason we love it. It gives everyone a platform, everyone a chance. I remember when it started back up in 2014, I was in China sitting on my laptop watching on split screens, watching someone from Adelaide play another state, and I just love it. It's the chance for someone to be put on a pedestal, to go up on the stage that they might not always have and knock off the big guns. And that's what we all really want to see, don't we?
We always see
the underdog.
Yes, the cup sets and some of those unlikely heroes along the way. And Harps, this is a brand new era for this competition. It's called the Australia Cup and it does pay homage to the Australia Cup of the past.
Yep, I think it's a fantastic rebrand, renaming by Football Australia. This is a great competition with great history, even though it's had a hiatus for a period, but it started way back in the 60s. The first cup final was Youghal versus St George, one of my old clubs, although I wasn't around back then, I'm thankful to say. Some people might doubt that. 8-1 Youghal won, £500 they played for. It was the richest football booty on offer. It was the first national comp of its kind, as the NSL was to follow. And very interestingly, unfortunately, the Australia Cup in its original incarnation didn't quite go the distance, but when the NSL started in 77, they instituted the NSL Cup. That went for 30 years, and that did, from time to time, embrace some state league clubs. Sydney Croatia, famously, was a state league club. Now Sydney United knocked off Marconi, an NSL powerhouse at the day. So the cup sets have been going forever, and now we get into the new era where it's back to the original drawing board. Everyone can enter from my local village. The Wollamba Football Club entered a few years ago, and we're a village of 1,300 people. Had a great time, got knocked out first game, got a bye first round actually, so we made the second round at Wollamba. It was fantastic. But anyone's in now, and we get 700 odd clubs starting, and the process begins tonight as the final 32. It's a great night.
It is so exciting. We absolutely love this competition, and it is so great to really recognise the history of this competition, as you just heard from Andy Harper. Then the team to catch, with the target on their back, then Daniel McBreen. It was a rocking night at Amy Park. This FA Cup, now Australia Cup final between Melbourne Victory and the Central Coast Mariners, but Victory were just too good on the night.
Yeah, what a game it was, wasn't it? And they didn't do it easy with tap-ins. They really turned it on with some fantastic goals. You could take a pick of anyone in that game, but as you say, they're the ones that everyone will be chasing, and as we all know, Popper loves to win, so he won't want to relinquish that without a fight.
We talk about, you've got the big guns and the professional teams, the A-League men's sides, and you can see that that's the big stage that they all want to be on there. But it's just not always about these big teams, is it, Harps? We talk about the communities and the amateurs as well that put their name up in lights. None bigger than King Cole from Cooma in goal. And a memorable night that was.
Yeah, nice alliteration there too. And Jacob Cole I don't know if you ever forget this, because you certainly dream about these sorts of things happening, and Jacob Cole just covering himself in glory. Look at the reaction. You can't buy that.
No.
A lifetime in football, maybe your career turned one way when it might have turned another, and you get this opportunity on a cup night, and this is quite remarkable. I mean, these saves are as good as you're going to see anywhere, let's face it, and it was a great thing that for Jacob Cole.
I know that we're surrounded by footballing royalty. You talk about the Jacob Cole moments there, but yours, for Edgy Eagles, not too bad either, was it? In the SFA
right.
If you do
Cup.
say so yourself.
I love that the commentary said, you might as well just retire after that.
Yeah, Bozza told me I should retire, and I thought, yeah, you're right. I've shut the eyes there and I've swung, and it's flown in the top corner, and it was a good moment. Game didn't go our way after that, but look, these are the moments that, as Harp said, even a young player coming up or an old fella on the way back down, It's something to look back at, and my kids have never ever seen that on replay in the house at all. I can attest
Well,
to
they're
it.
watching it now. I guess that's a quick question, Mac, because a lot of the focus, understandably, is on emerging talent and someone breaking through and getting a chance. There've been some great stories out of the Cup ending up in the A-League. But what about the guys on the elevator out of professional football? And you encapsulated that at that moment. Is it a chance for you to do a farewell and say, don't quite forget me yet, people, I can still do the business?
A little bit, yeah. Look, I scored against West Sydney as well in another game, but it was also a moment that when you get the away games, you're really embracing to show the young kids that this is sort of what professionals do. You travel together, you eat right. And I remember the first time I went over the NPL team, guys are rocking up in their shorts because they thought, oh, we're going away. I'm like, no, this is a team. Go and get your kid on. We sit down, we meet at the right time. So it's showing that next level. If you can make it to that next level and that platform, this is what how it is for them. So it gives them that insight to it. So it's really good to be a part of helping young players to see that.
Yeah, an incredible night. Put your name up in lights yet again, Daniel McBreen, as did our ball drawer at this evening. We're so grateful and happy to be joined by Tynan Diaz. Thank you so much for joining us, Tynan. You have played in every edition of the FFA Cup since its inception in 2014. You must love this comp and what it does for the clubs that you've been a part of.
Yeah, I do. Since 2014. So I've loved playing in the Cup each year. Different clubs, different states as well. I played some time up in Queensland with the Lions, down here with Bonnyrigg and Apia and Wollongong and whatnot. So, I love the Cup. It's been a good Cup for me personally as well, in terms of some of the goals that I've scored and put my name in lights. And that's what the guys are talking about. That's the opportunity that we get to play in these big games and make those big moments for players individually and for clubs as well.
What is it about the Cup nights? Because you've alluded to it there. You've absolutely turned it on a dime in the Cup for Upper Leichhardt. I know we saw King Cole before they lost against your side in that Cup run last year, but this was just absolutely magnificent. I mean, it rippled across social media and it's what the Cup is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a really special night for myself individually. It's probably the best goal that I've scored, and I certainly won't be doing that anytime again soon. But like I said earlier, it's a special time for the clubs as well. Apia Leichhardt, where I was playing for at the time, absolutely lived for those types of moments. The club's got prestigious history in this Cup as well, knocking off Melbourne Victory a few years back also. It's a great opportunity for young players, grassroots players to come in, test their steel against the top opposition, and hopefully make of a career of it, like Macca says.
And am I correct in that you retired post? I mean, Macca retiring post that goal and you're retiring post that moment, but you've still been involved playing in the Illawarra Premier League for Wollongong Olympic and being in the FFA Cup yet again, or the Australia Cup as we know it this year. Yeah,
that's right. Still playing down in Wollongong in the Illawarra Premier League. Keen to see one of the clubs, particularly Wollongong United, to see who they draw, one of our arch rivals, but I'll be certainly behind them in whoever they play against next, because it's a big moment for the region. It's the first club that has made it to the final 32 from the Illawarra Premier League, so a big moment for them. Big moment for our club as well. Unfortunately, we couldn't make it this year. But we'll go again next year.
That's great. I love the way that you are rivals and yet you're rooting for the team from the region as well, which is absolutely fantastic. Yeah. We'll be getting back to you to draw the balls shortly, but we're just going to take a look right now at the 32 teams that are involved in the Australia Cup draw at the moment. And here we are, starting with the New South Wales teams. Only one NPL club from Football New South Wales is involved in that list that you can see there this evening. NWS Spirit, they're on debut. Well, they actually rolled Luke Wilkshire's Wolves to get into the round of 32. You've got the Jets. They won their spot actually in the 3-1 playoff against Perth Glory. And Macarthur Bulls, they were knocked out in the round of 16 by Sydney FC. But a really good mix there from New South Wales. Now, from Victoria, and when you look at this list, yes, and these are names now that a total recall for football fans across the country because of the dominance that they've had in this competition. When you look at the Bentley Greens, the Cannons, Green Gully and Avondale as well. You've got Victory, the team to catch, the 2022 FFA Cup winners, Western United as well, the A-League champions. Now to Queensland. What we got from Queensland as the draw continues in an NT and ACT as well. So as you can see there, Edge Hill from Cairns and the Magpies Crusaders from Mackay. Their clash will be decided next week. It was due to flooding. They haven't actually been able to yet play, so that'll be decided next week shortly. Brisbane Roar round of 32. They had to do that the long way through a playoff over the Western Sydney Wanderers. You've got Middle Acels on debut and the Monero Panthers on debut from the ACT as well. Switching over to South Australia, you've got City, the Jets, Adelaide United, who of course are the most successful team in Cup history. 14, 18 and 19, they've won it. Flying the flag for Tassie. Devonport City, Mike Cockrell have had some great moments as well, covering all of the action. And he was our Tasmanian correspondent, wasn't he, Andy Harper? And of course, from New Zealand, the Wellington Phoenix actually beaten the semi-finals by the cup holders. Melbourne victory there. Well, let's get out to, we've got our people here, there and everywhere. Max Burford is in South Australia, I should say. He's our Adelaide correspondent. Maxie, there must be a bit of vibe and buzz around here tonight, a bit of excitement for the teams that could be making it over in Adelaide.
Oh, Tara, I'm in the room. We are all very excited. And we've all started on a very good note because this has been dished up by Football South Australia. We've got combo Euros, we've got the chips. Everyone here is very well fed. So if we don't get this draw over and done with quickly, I think we'll find a lot of the fellas start falling asleep. But over here, the Modbury boys, the first time they've come this far in the Australia Cup, they're all pumped to be here. They've been here for an hour. They're ready to go. Let's give them a ping pong ball. And the Adelaide City fellas over here, they were here last year, of course. That Melbourne victory heartache we don't want to talk about. You can just see all their faces drop when I even bring it up. Sorry, gentlemen. But this year they've assured me they're going one step further. So we're ready. I'm going to tuck into some Euros. I'm sure everyone around the country's got better food than me, though.
We'll check in with you right now, Maxie, and I'll see how Michael Zapponi's going because he's at Bentley Green's home ground. You saw the combo Euros there that Max Burford's enjoying in South Australia. Zappers, what are they serving up to in Victoria?
Well, Tara, anyone who's been to an FFA Cup or now Australia Cup game in Australia will know that one of the best serves of Euros you can get is here at Oakley. So I was looking forward to it tonight. However, the canteen is closed. So I had to take matters into my own hands, Tara. Enter the homemade salami. I've had to go home and rush off and grab some homemade salami. I made this last year. It's prime condition now. Some homemade wine as well. So don't worry about the canteen being closed. I'm looking after all of those here this evening. Speaking of those here this evening, 5 NPL clubs from Victoria here tonight, and they've had a fantastic record in this competition. Bentley Greens back in 2014, of course, made the semi-final against Perth Glory. It was packed here. What a great night that was. In 2015, Heidelberg United against Melbourne City. Aaron Moy still had hair. Tara, and Ruben Wade just behind me now. He remembers that night very, very fondly. 11,000 people there that evening. It was one of the great FFA Cup nights. So many good Victorian teams here. Liam Boland's effort in 2016 for Green Gully, that 92nd minute winner, which Mike Cockrell called beautifully. Green Gully here tonight as well. Avondale, who were 2018 semi-finalists also. They were against Sydney FC. Fantastic effort by them. Andrew Redmayne in goal that night. They got into extra time, so Victorian clubs expect them to do really well in this competition. In the meantime, cheers. Back to the salami.
I don't know about your Wednesday night. How's your Wednesday night going? And Zappa just says, I'm going to open a bottle of red and just get into this salami stick. What are you guys doing? Well, enjoy, Zappers. We'll cross in with you a little bit later. The Euros combos, and then you've got the bottle of wine and the salami. It sounds like a great Wednesday night. All right, so here are the principles of the draw before we actually get into the round of 32 draw itself. There are no geographical zones for tonight. All the teams are in one pot. If 2 member federation teams are drawn, the first team that is drawn will be the host, and if it's a member federation team v an A-League team, it's the member federation team that will host. And all that A-League draw will mean that the first club that's drawn first will host, and any fixture involving the Knicks, it means that the Knicks will automatically be deemed the away club. So there you go. All right, so it is time now to get the draw off and running. So it's over to you, Tyner Diaz. I'll get you to draw the first ball, please. No pressure. Okay. It does feel a little bit like lotto, doesn't it, gents?
It is going to be for someone, Tara.
Okay, so the first team drawn, the round of 32 Australia Cup, is Bentley Greens. We heard from our Victorian correspondent Michael Zapponi there talking about the strength of these NPL Victoria teams and how well they have gone in this competition. It is great to see them back in the competition yet again. They were the finalists in 2014. They beat the Knicks in the round of 32 in 2018. So Bentley Greens will host Broadmeadow Magic from your way.
That's their 6th time in the round of 32, Broadmeadow. Damien Zane's their coach now. He's been 6 times as well.
He did a great job with Edgeworth.
Yep.
He's a fantastic coach. They're sitting top of the Northern New South Wales NPL. Bentley Greens languishing by their standards in 7th position at the moment. And depending on the date of this match, you'd have to think Broadmeadow Magic might be a chance away from home.
Well, I know Damien Zane loves to play against the Victorian teams. He loves it. He loves the challenge.
So who we've got here, we've got our second fixture of the Australia Cup round of 32 draw. I'm going to be writing feverishly all night. So it is the big guns. Sydney FC, of course, they didn't make finals in the A-League men's competition, so all eyes will be on Sydney FC, especially with what they're doing with their roster. Steve Corica, we know that he's shot up his future as the coach of that club. They've had success in the FFA Cup before. Wow, look at that for a clash.
Wow.
Sydney FC hosts the Central Coast Mariners, your former club, Macca. That's a great one. Looking forward to that all A-League clash.
Well, that's a big one straight off the bat,
Very
isn't it,
good.
Tiny? You're not mucking around tonight, are you? Let's get the big guns out straight away.
As well. So the Central Coast Mariners, they had a fantastic run. What can they do and build on this year? Tynan, go again, please. So the third fixture, this Australia Cup, starts with Peninsula Power from Queensland. They reached the round of 32 in 2017. They were defeated then by Melbourne City. So Peninsula Power, Queensland side, and they will host in the round of 32 NWS Spirit, who are on debut. So what a roadie that's going to be for NWS Spirit as well. And that's something I'm sure that they're looking forward to, Harp.
Yeah,
when clubs like this come into the comp and they get to travel and have an experience
and some
like
national
that.
exposure. It's a tough one for them. So they're a League One outfit.
Yes.
Northwest Sydney Spirit up against Peninsula Power, third in the Football Queensland NPL, and over recent years have been always challenging for honours. That's a tough away game for the Spirit.
Tynan. So this is for the fourth fixture of the round of 32 on the Australia Cup. Brisbane City. So Brisbane City, the Queensland Premier League club, are coached by the 3-time A-League Championship winner, Matt Smith. So Brisbane City will face, and Matt Smith, who we all know very well from his time in the A-League men, such a successful player, Cockburn City SC from WA. Cockburn City SC. Need my glasses
So
checked
Brisbane
for that
City,
one.
Tara, actually have a former Cockerell Medal winner, Fraser Hills. He was the
That's
second
right.
winner of the Cockerell Medal. Of course, Cup final day, the player who's adjudged as the emerging talent out of the NPL level clubs or the non-A-League men's comps. The best player is judged, gets the Cockerell Medal in recognition, remembrance of the great Mike Cockerell. Well, if you heard his voice on a couple of commentary pieces tonight, so we'll see if Fraser can back up for the first player maybe to win 2 Cockerell medals. How about that?
That'd be a great one. And we love that it does really discover some of these players that are playing in the NPL and, of course, the grassroots football as well. Over to you, Tynan, for the fifth fixture in the round of 32. So we've already had the big Sydney FC and Mariners, the big A-League heavy-hitting fixture earlier. So Adelaide City, the first member-fed club to ever beat an A-League side in this cup competition. That back in 2014, they beat the Western Sydney Wanderers in the round of 32, a solo goal from Thomas Love. So Adelaide City will host Logan Lightning. First time in the round of 32, so they're on debut. They defeated Olympic FC, amongst others, in the prelim round, so that'll be a really good one.
That's a big draw for Logan Lightning, isn't it? Adelaide City with a lot of history, a club with a lot of history, so big trip for them, and that'll be a big cup game.
And it's a dead set NPL 1 match-off across member feds. And interesting, we saw in the cross to Max, the chairman of Adelaide City, is Greg Griffin, the former boss at Adelaide United, who gets a chance back on the dance floor, if we can call it that. So that's a mighty one, actually. Adelaide, very successful in the NSL Cup era as well as the NSL itself. Yeah.
Please draw another ball, Tynan. So we're looking at our sixth fixture in the round of 32. Just pulled out the draw between Adelaide City and Logan Lightning. Really looking forward to that heavy-hitting clash in the NPL. So it's the Jets, the Newcastle Jets, led by Arthur Pappas. How far can they go in the Australia Cup this season? They made the round of 32. They had to play off to get there. It was a 3-1 win against Perth Glory. Ooh. Adelaide United, and outside the studio, someone just waved. So I'm not too sure whether that was good,
That's
bad,
either a Jets or a
good,
United
bad, or
fan.
indifferent. I don't know, but that's a great one. Adelaide United, of course, being the most successful Harps FFA Cup team. They love the cup competition and those rocking nights at Hindmarsh Stadium. They're the best nights, some of the best ones I've ever had.
It's a great facility, and you know, on the back of a very productive season under Carl Veart, and then against Arthur Pappas's Newcastle Jets, who need to rocket up the charts again. What a way to start.
Cup specialists, aren't they?
Cup
Adelaide.
specialists.
Yeah,
and who have we got on the coaching staff of the Reds? Millsy.
So you're putting a line through Adelaide United already. Tara, controversial, Tara.
I was putting an asterisk next to it, Diamond. Please throw another ball.
One thing, though, that all these NPL clubs will be looking at, saying, let's get more of those A-League matchups going. It gives them a better run through.
Yep.
Yeah, of course, when you get the chance of an upset. So, Wollongong United FC. You're rooting for this team, aren't you?
Yeah. Taking
Illawarra
close notice
Premier
here now,
League.
time, yeah.
So, Wollongong United. They knocked off Blacktown City and St George on their way to the round of 32. So, had an incredible run. Wow, so it's a trip for Green Gully to the Gong, and we know Green Gully and their history in this competition as well. They knocked out the Mariners in 2016 en route to the quarterfinals for Green Gully. So are you looking forward to this one? You were speaking earlier about this team. I know that there might be a rival, but representing the Illawarra Premier League for you, Tynan.
That's right, yeah. They'll be representing the region during this game, and I'll tell you what, they're going up against a big powerhouse from Melbourne in Green Gully, so that'll be one to go out and watch, and looking forward to going and see that myself.
Will you be out there supporting?
I will be.
Yeah, good on you. Do it. Okay, another ball, please. So this is for our last one for now. So we're going to draw 8 fixtures first in this round of 32. Been scribbling my notes. I don't even know who's playing. If you can read those. Millsy, no. So Bonnyrigg White Eagles, your former side as well. How many years? 7 years for Bonnyrigg?
6 years, yeah.
6 years.
6 years, yeah. It's a really successful time there at Bonnyrigg, and
you scored that worldie in 2018 in the FFA Cup run as well. I know you've got them in your locker. So Bonnyrigg Eagles. Could it be an A-League team? Is that what we would say? Okay. Oh, you didn't give me anything. So this is the Oakley Cannons. So the quarter-finalists in 2015 and Melbourne Victory midfielder plays in this one as well. So these are the first 8 fixtures heading your way. What are you looking forward to there, gents? Because there's some cracking, all NPL clashes, and as well as that, a couple of A-League men's clashes as well.
Well, the one that took my breath was obviously, as it took all of our Sydney FC, first competition post-Ninkovic of the recent era, up against the emerging Central Coast Mariners. That's the A-League fixture out of this. I know we've got Newcastle and Adelaide as well, but another from the Northwest Sydney Spirit, how they're going to go punching above their weight against Peninsula Power is the other one that caught my eye in particular.
Yeah, well, obviously being from the Newcastle region, Bentley versus Magic. I'm a good friend of Damien Zane's as well, and I know how much he loves playing against those guys. He's got a history, but Bentley is a big powerhouse down there. And this is how Magic actually got into the round. They were down in the 91st minute 1-0, got a penalty in the 2nd minute of injury time, and because they scored that goal, they got another minute of injury time, and with basically the last kick of the game, they scored to come behind. So that's the cup, magic of the cup.
And
that's
devastating
what it means.
for Maitland.
Exactly.
Who are building their own case
Maitland
recently.
scored in the 3rd minute and held on for 90, almost 90 minutes, but that's what it means to them, you know, when you score, especially late.
And there is a reminder of the first 8 fixtures in this round of 32 Australian Cup draw, as you saw there, how Broadmeadow Magic made their way into the round of 32. We were talking a little bit earlier about that huge powerhouse clash between Sydney FC and the Central Coast Mariners. Central Coast Mariners were the cup runners-up last season, went all the way. Ollie Bozanic with that worldie as well in the final against Melbourne Victory. Adelaide City, Logan Lightning, got a couple of debutants in there when you spoke about that. Andy Harper with NWS Spirit hosting, travelling to play Peninsula Power. Wollongong United and Green Gully and Bonnyrigg White Eagles and Oakley Cannon. I don't know, how's the wine going, Michael Zapponi, and what has been the reaction from the Victorians down there, hey?
Yes, they're very excited. Not sure more excited about who they're drawing or more excited about away trips, because a couple of the Victorian teams have drawn away teams, but not Bentley. They're at home. They're at their fortress, Kingston Heath, and their captain, Jack Webster, joins us now. He's been here since day dot. He's been here over 10 years, played in every FFA Cup game for Bentley over the years. Well, thanks for joining us, Jack. How do you find that draw against Bentley at home? Prefer to be at home?
Oh, I wouldn't mind another away trip like the other teams, but now we'll take it. I mean, yeah, we've had a few good results here in the FFA Cup, and we'll take Broadmeadow, and we'll hopefully get a good crowd there and push on.
You've had so many great nights here. What can the boys from Broadmeadow expect here at the Kingston Heath complex? Can get a bit windy down here.
Yeah, get a bit windy, a bit cold, but hopefully, because like I said, a good crowd, and get a fair few people and make it a bit intimidating for them, and we'll put on a good show.
Now, Danny McBreen's from that region. He reckons that Bentley's not doing too well this year in the NPL. Can you just sort of separate that form and bring the good form into FFA Cup?
Yeah, of course we can. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we go.
Tell us a little bit about this season. I was speaking to Nick Tolios. He was saying all the boys were cheering for an away trip.
Yeah, we was. Yeah, we did want. We mind a bit of hot weather, but. The season's been up and down at the minute, but yeah, we'll push into the cup, and hopefully we can turn our season around and show everyone. Hopefully it's live on TV and show everyone what we're about.
It will be. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks a lot.
All right, a great record this team has got. Bentley Greens in this competition in the Australia Cup, Tara.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing what they can do. I love this. Macca's looking at me. What's going on here?
I want to go on the record and say that I never said they were struggling. That's come straight out of Zappa's mouth, not my mouth.
Too much homemade salami, I think.
Is it the salami? Is it
Too
the
much homemade
is it the
salami.
combination?
It's because it's marinated in that red wine.
Is it the jus? Is it the jus? We'll cross it with you a little bit later, Zappers. Let's get to Adelaide now. Max Burford, I mean, he was eating all of the delicacies there a little bit earlier, but Max, you've got some reaction from the Adelaide City boys there.
Yeah, we've got Charlie Devereaux here from Adelaide City. Also enjoyed the delicacies. Do you want to start there? How was the food?
Can't ever complain. With a combo Euros, can't ever complain. So it was all good.
We do it better in SA, we know it. Adelaide City, we're up against Logan City. We've just seen a few boys at the table. We'll be honest here, we've been a few boys Googling where is Logan City? What do we know about Logan City? Early thoughts on the draw, Charlie? I heard a bit of a sigh from the fellas.
Oh, look, we were hoping for an away draw. We wouldn't have minded that derby against Brisbane City, so we're a bit jealous of the boys down in Cockburn at the moment. But we'll take it. We'll take it.
What can they expect coming here? I mean, you're playing at home now. You have to at least build up your fortress here in Adelaide. What are they going to expect from the top team in SA at the moment?
Yeah, it won't be easy for them. We're a tough team for anyone in this competition. So yeah, we're looking forward to it and confident we can get through to the next round.
Excellent. He's a man very confident. We're looking forward to seeing if some dessert comes out here, and we're looking forward to seeing what the Modbury boys over there get up next.
Maxie, you're on fire. I feel like, is it aeroplane jelly and vanilla ice cream? I mean, you'd be pretty happy with that one. Or Neapolitan, perhaps. Thanks so much, Jance. We're crossing with you. A little bit later, we are off to a short break. More of the draws heading away on the other side. And don't forget, all of the round of 32 action, it kicks off live across Network 10 on July the 21st.
Green Gully are on the verge of a major upset. What a finish! Had to be, didn't it? It's a first trophy for Melbourne City. Adelaide United's inaugural cup winners. Sydney FC, then win the cup. He goes for goal. It's a spectacular strike from Matt Hatch. Gee, doesn't score bad goals, does he? A 5-star performance from the Central Coast Mariners. And that is a tremendous hit.
Well, that is right out of the top drawer. You can see exactly what he was doing here. There is no mistaking that was done absolutely on purpose.
Yeah, that one is for you, Central Coast Mariners fans. Matt Hatch with an absolute worldie. Andy Harper, Daniel Whitbreen. Cross or shot? Did he mean it? Did he mean it? Hey?
He meant it.
He meant it,
Yep.
coming from a striker.
Don't think it'll matter so long as he delivers 3 or 4 of them for Perth Gloria's new team. Ruben Zakovic will be very happy.
Exactly. I'm saying Mariners fans and all the Perth Glory fans will be thinking, hope he does that in the season. All right, well, let's continue our draw now. We saw the first 8 fixtures drawn for the round of 32 Australia Cup. It is in its new era. Tynan Diaz, it's over to you to get us underway. Got some great fixtures to look forward to already. An all-A-League fixture between Sydney FC and the Central Coast Mariners, Bentley Greens and Broadmeadow Magic as well, and the Jets and the Reds. So here we go. Armidale from WA. They are the first one. They're fixture number 9. It is their second appearance, this team from WA, in the round of 32. They lost to Cairns FC in the round of 32 in 2018. So great to see them back in the competition. So Armidale, WA, SC. They host Modbury Jets from South Australia. So the Modbury Jets, they're on debut from State League 1 in South Australia, Jets. That's huge.
Armidale is Trent Sainsbury's junior club.
Oh, that's
And he
right.
texted me during the week saying that they're going to go all the way. And I think if he
All
sees
the
that...
way, what?
all the way, they're
for
going to
cup
win the
final?
whole lot.
Wow.
That's what he said. He's confident.
Is he signing
maybe he's
for
on.
him?
Maybe
Is
he's
he
on
signing
holiday.
for him?
He might be coming back. But I think he'll be happy with that draw. You know, Modbury's a team that are punching, I think, above their weight and doing well. So I think Armidale will be quite happy with that draw and looking to go through. Modbury, I'm not putting you down at all.
Go for it, Tynan. All right, so for our next fixture, fixture number 10. Will Trent Sainsbury be watching this? He is, right?
I don't know.
You can text him later. Devonport City strikers from Tasmania. They've dished up some cracking nights in Tassie. They reached the round of 16 in 2018. So, Devonport City, who gets a trip to Tasmania? The Knicks are getting a trip to Tassie. So the Knicks as well, it'll be interesting to see how they go this season, as well as where they're going to be based and how that is going to play out, of course. They were beaten in the semi-finals by Melbourne Victory.
Well, if the acclimatisation is not going to be an issue for Wellington going to Devonport. I mean, one of those images which is just seared into my memory, and I'm sure yours as well, with Mike Cockerell doing that sideline cross for the Devonport strikers. The rain was with the size of bullets. The raindrops were bullets, and they were coming in at 15 degrees. And Mike Cockerell, with his hair blowing in the wind, this stuff sheeting into his face, did not miss a beat.
Yeah.
It was the most brilliant cross.
Wasn't it?
It's right up there in cup history, in our recent cup history. And let's see if Devonport can turn it on again for the Knicks this time round.
What can Devonport do? So good. Looking forward to that one between the Tasmanian club, Tynan, and the Wellington Phoenix as well. Wellington Phoenix, beaten in the semis by Melbourne Victory on their run last edition of the FFA Cup, now the Australia Cup. So, Edge Hill United from Cairns, and the Magpie Crusaders United from Mackay. This will be decided next week. Hasn't been yet played. So it'll either be Edge Hill or the Magpies Crusaders. Who will they host? So Edge Hill or the Magpies Crusaders.
Wow.
Woo. No. Ooh. MacArthur FC. What was that little there, Macca?
That's a great... Look, they get to take them at home. That's a big call. We see new coaching staff in at MacArthur, and I think that's an exciting one. They'll be flocking to the stadiums to watch them. Well, see what they're going to produce with
Dwight York's first
Yep.
game in charge of a senior match, which outside of the All-Stars game, which was a great occasion, playing for something.
Yeah, and I think that's
as a
exciting.
coach, it's going to attract a lot of attention, that one. So that'll put an extra edge on the Edge Hill Magpie game. You know, there's a lot more at stake now.
I
isn't
like
there?
that.
I wonder if Dwight's travelled to that part of Australia, gents.
I don't know, but he could wear his T-shirts nice and tight.
Oh, here we
because
go.
it's wonderful weather up there.
Cairns is a possibility. Mackay, less sure that he's been to Mackay. Could be wrong.
That'll be one of the first questions when he lands. Tynan, please. Sorry, did I just get sidetracked about Dwight's travels across Australia?
Was it
All
the
right.
tight T-shirt that did it?
Mackie, you took me away with your storytelling of the clothing. All right, so this is for the 12th fixture. It is the Mindel Aces from the NT. So really looking forward to the debutant team from the Northern Territory. They defeated last year's NT Reps as well on their way to getting here. So they are well and truly punching above their weight to be in the round of 32. So it'll be great to see what the Mindel Aces can do in this round of 32. And, well, what a task they have on their hands against Avondale Gents FC, who took Sydney FC to extra time in the quarterfinals in 2018, and they are a powerhouse when you talk about Victorian football.
Well, we're looking at all the teams that come out of Victoria this year, and they've, like you said at the start, we all know, everyone in Australia knows their names now because they're so strong, they're so consistent. So that is a real tough game for Mindel Aces up there, and a nice trip up to some warm weather for Avondale as well.
This is
Well,
great.
I can rest easy, Tara, because I wanted the Mindel Aces to get a home game.
Yes.
I want Bagot Oval splitting at the seams. They've got 500 people playing for this club, 40 teams, Mindel Aces. They'll do it a very proud night. And Avondale, of course, this is the club, if they've launched anyone's career, they've launched Elvis Campsober's career.
Yes,
You've got the
that's
Cockerell Medal
right.
Year 1 playing for Avondale, recruited by Melbourne Victory, and now was one of the bright points out of Sydney's otherwise disappointing season. So, but I'm stoked for Mindel Aces to get a home game in their debut night in the Cup. It'd be a great one up there at Bagot Oval.
And the Avondale boys as well, they were thinking, we've got an away trip, off we go.
Off we go.
Here we go, bring it on. Thanks, Tynan. For our next draw in the Australia Cup round of 32. A couple of trips for the Victorian boys. So, Brisbane Roar. So, Brisbane Roar, what can they do this year in the round of 32? We'll see whether they're hosting. Of course, if it's a member federation club that gets drawn, they will be travelling to place their opposition. Heidelberg United. This is a tasty one, gents, isn't it? So Heidelberg United, they've got the hosting rights for this one. And they will be hosting Brisbane Roar. Could we have a cup set on our hands?
Massive time coming up for Brisbane.
Yes.
Yeah.
So disappointing. Talk now about a staged return to Suncorp Stadium. That's A-League level, and let's hope that all comes to pass. The league needs Brisbane rocking.
Yeah, it does.
Heidelberg made 5 NSL Cup finals. Right, they've got a great history in this, and even Zappa said before, you know, when they hosted Perth Glory, they had 11,000, and this will be a big night for Heidelberg. Another very big night.
Yeah, and that's one where you could really see a cup set on the cards there when they get behind and make that environment, that hostile environment down there. So good to see.
They did it against Perth Glory, as you said, in 2018 in the FFA Cup run. Tynan, next ball, please. Okay. Our 14th fixture. So who is yet to be drawn out in our round of 32 Australia Cup draw? Melbourne City.
It's not going to be a derby, is it?
Ooh.
It's not going to be a Melbourne derby.
Straight
round
off
32.
straight off the top. So Melbourne City, of course, the 2016 Cup winners and the finalists in 2019, when you look at the A-League men's comp as well. So Melbourne City, is it an all A-League clash? Newcastle Olympic. I'm going to throw to you for this one. Macca.
Yep. Joel Griffiths.
Yeah.
Everyone knows Joel, and it's their second year in a row making it through. They're doing it not too bad in their local competition, and I think he'll relish being up against some A-League competition, and they're going to have a tough night there. That's going to be a big one for them.
Yeah. Well, Melbourne City had to play Edgeworth at Magic Park
Yes.
in a cup. That was a big night.
2016.
And Edgy really gave them a run for their money. Now they play against Joel Griffiths' coached Newcastle Olympics. This will be at Darling Street. And with the result of the last federal election, Newcastle Olympic are now in line for some serious funding to get the grandstand done. Unfortunately, it's not going to be ready for July. And this round of 32 match, but there will be a buzz and vibe around Newcastle Olympic given everything and welcoming Melbourne City. And Joel Griffiths, the competitive beast that he is, you don't reckon he'll put something special into this night?
Oh, he'll be spitting fire on the sideline. We all know Joel.
I just see him like subbing himself on, actually. Is that too much to ask?
Well, he did play up until last year, so Don't
rule
put
it
anything
out. I think
past
don't rule it out. Yes,
Blowing everyone up, and then, there's Joel Griffiths on the pitch himself. Tynan, please draw another ball. So we've got 2 fixtures left in the round of 32 Australia Cup draw. Who is coming up in this one? Who will be the host? Sydney United, a team from New South Wales, the only NPL 1 team from New South Wales NPL to be representing Sydney, you could say. So Sydney United. Who will they host? The Monero Panthers from Canberra, who have arguably got one of the best names in this competition. That's what I say. And they're on debut. I don't care if you don't like the name. I really like it.
No, I love it.
We know you love it. You've said it a million times.
It was a laugh of approval.
Oh, good. But a big night for the Panthers, who are on debut from Canberra. So it's great to see what they're going to do there as well. Tynan, the last fixture in this Australia Cup round of 32 draw. Who have we got left in there? Drum roll, please. Western United. So, of course, Western United, and what an incredible season they had in the A-League Men's Comp, of course, reigning champions. So what is John Aloisi's first competitive clash for the season going to be?
You couldn't write it, could you?
Melbourne Victory.
Aloisi holders versus the
Melbourne Victory. That's incredible. That's awesome.
That is a massive, massive game. Fantastic.
What do you think of that? What do you make of those?
Well, when are the dates? Let's get the dates out now, Tara. I want to start getting the diary working.
Yeah, we've got to get the diary working so we know that all of the clashes of the round of 32, they do start from July the 21st, and all of that information you will find on the website very, very soon as you figure out ground availability and everything else. But really looking forward to Harps again, the Mindel Aces and Avondale FC and what this clash in particular could potentially create on the NT. It'll be one of those special nights, and we see them, you know, play throughout the cup competitions every year.
Well, for me it is, Tara, because you look through the teams that qualify, and you always go for the least known and maybe the most remote, and the possibility. And this is really late in the piece against Hellenic. There's a couple of great clubs with big history in Darwin as well. Hellenic's one of them. Casuarina's another. So to have Mindel Aces come through, a community club in the northern suburbs of Brisbane, a real growth corridor. So there'll be a big community vibe around this one. I'm hoping they can play at their spiritual home, Bagot Ground, because I think it'll be a massive night. Win, lose or draw. They're not going to lose out of this one. Even to get this far, to knock off some of the big clubs in Darwin is a big thing for them. And to have Avondale come, the powerhouse, we keep talking about Melbourne, they've got unprecedented, unparalleled success, I should say, as a member federation, the Victorians, in this cup competition. So it'll all be on that night. Mindel Aces, fingers crossed, Bagot Oval's up to scratch, and it can be hosting their own home ground to have this team. It'll be a big night.
Bring it on. We love the big nights in the cup. Here is a reminder of those 8 fixtures that were just drawn there. As you can see, the Modbury Jets, who are making their debut, they faced Armidale. There are some huge A-League men's clashes there as well. Of course, looking down towards the bottom between Western United and Melbourne Victory. Tick, tick, tick to that one. And of course, hearing from Harps here about Mindel Aces and Avondale and the special night that will be created on the NT. And that's what we see across this cup competition. What's tickling your fancy there, Daniel McBreen, from those 8 clashes?
It's the last one that came out for me. I don't think you can top that. Last year's champions of the cup and last year's champions in the league going head-to-head derby, first round of 32. I just think you can't go past that one.
Yeah.
And given the open nature of the draw, which is a fantastic evolution, congratulations to Football Australia, we've got 3 A-League head-to-head matches, which means there'll be 3 less A-League teams in the next draw, which opens up the passage for the member fed teams to come through, and that's a great subplot that's brewing already.
Well, let's see how Zappers is going with that bottle of wine and the salami and the company and all the vibe and buzz there.
You're still upright, Tara, we can see that.
So you're slipping it slowly, Zappers. Is that what's happening, or do you need us to keep talking in studio?
I'm not touching the wine, but I can tell you the salami has almost gone. So it's been a very popular one. And also was very popular was the fact that one of the Victorian clubs drew the Mindil Aces, not because of their opponent necessarily, their strengths and weaknesses, because everyone wanted to go up to the Northern Territory. Matthew Reid is from Avondale. He joins us now. Matthew, that was the loudest roar of the night, wasn't it? The boys must be pretty happy about that.
Yeah, pretty excited about that. I think we're a bit worried we might have been drawn against Heidelberg for a moment there, so great relief that we get an interstate trip, which is nice, and we're looking forward to it.
And you've had a terrific couple of seasons in the NPL in Victoria. Unfortunately, COVID's meant you actually haven't put your hands on a trophy yet, but one of the best squads in the NPL, Vic. You must rate yourselves of going pretty deep in the competition this year.
Yeah, that's where we want to go. So we've got a great group of players, and we like to test ourselves. So to go as deep as we can, that'd be a great opportunity for the boys.
And we know you'll take the football seriously, but is there going to be any leeway at the end of the game to go out and perhaps just see some of the sights of Darwin?
As long as we put in a good performance, I'm sure we'll be allowed to enjoy ourselves just a little bit, but we've got to get the result first.
Of course, you had that game against Wellington last year. A little bit disappointing, but I think that sort of burns the candle for you, because you think, well, we know we can do better than this, and you gave yourselves a good chance against Wellington last year in the FFA Cup.
Yeah, we did. We went into that game thinking we were a really good chance, so it was a bit disappointing the way things panned out. We'd like to test ourselves again against an A-League club, so I mean, we've got to focus on this next round first, and if we can get through that, then it'd be nice to draw against an A-League club.
Thank you, Matthew. He's so tall, Tara, that I've made him sit down for that cross. So we're going to have a quick chat to our friends at Heidelberg.
I thought you were offering him the wine. I was thinking,
now,
what's happening with Matthew?
Yeah, Ruben, wait, can you just show us that scar you've got there, Ruben? Ruben's not playing at the minute. He's got titanium plate inserted in there for an injury sustained against South Melbourne a few weeks ago. But Ruben, you'll be right for this FFA Cup fixture against Brisbane.
Yeah, we'll be well up for it, not just me.
Your coach, George Katsakis, is here as well. Pretty loud cheer from George. Heidelberg's got such a rich history in Australian football. Won a national title in the NSL in 1980, won NSL Cups. How do you fancy your chances against an A-League men's opposition?
You know your facts, mate. I'll give you that. Mate, we've been in the round of 32 before, and we've played A-League teams before, and we've beaten an A-League team before. So we've got a great supporter base, so I hope the Brisbane Raw supporter base travel too, even the numbers out.
And I reckon a few of the Heidelberg fans will probably get the bus up. It's a long bus ride, but I know they're keen to get up there to watch this one.
Aren't we playing at home?
I think you're away, aren't you? Brisbane. We'll double check that, Tara, but I thought you were away. Anyway, you're at home against, yeah, you're right. So you'll get plenty of crowd there. You're at home as an A-League.
You don't have your facts right.
No, not on this occasion. Thanks for catching me out there. But last time you played an A-League opposition at home, Olympic Village, 11,000 people there. They made a bit of money on the gate.
I can imagine they did. I can imagine they did.
And you were there. You were telling me earlier that was one of your great memories. You've got a photo playing against Aaron Moy. It was such a great atmosphere that evening.
Yeah, it was. Being semi-pro and playing against professional teams, it's always what you aspire to be. So having that opportunity and, beating Perth and, getting that photo with Aaron was, I don't know, something cool.
We look forward to coming to Olympic Village again. It's been revamped Olympic Village too, so it's looking a treat. And Heidelberg are on a hot run of form, undefeated in their last 12, Tara. So we look forward to getting to Heidelberg, not up to Brisbane. Of course, they will host that fixture.
Ruben Way says getting a photo with Aaron Moy was pretty cool. Not as cool as getting interviewed by Michael Saponi, telling him he's got an away game.
And don't you love the way he's choreographing, mate, the food, the nibbles, and who stands, who sits.
Yeah, I like it.
You know, he's all over at Zappers. But
it's
interviewing
like a dance.
Ruben picked up a point that we should have actually, and they had knocked out Perth Glory in that cup run.
2018.
And you'll remember the name Kenny Athew because he scored that bomb for Heidelberg away against Perth, which knocked Perth out, and also got Kenny Athew, the highlights, and then into the A-League with Melbourne victory. It's another story that's come out of the Cup that we should have remembered before now, and thankfully Ruben has just reminded us of it.
I think he has. I think he definitely...
I want to see Zappers' bottle of wine.
He
never gets it
I like
wrong
the way he just goes, I'm coming to you, sit down. I'm coming to you, sit down. Don't move. The cameras are rolling. Let's get over to Adelaide now. Maxie, what's for dessert, my man?
Unfortunately, no dessert delivered, but I can't be too unhappy with that, given that the mains that we had here. The real treat, the sweet treat, is an away trip for these boys from Modbury. Jesse Francesca, the skipper, mate, a huge roar. It was as if you'd won the cup when you heard that away trip come up. Tell me why you're all so excited.
Oh, just massive just to get away. That's probably the draw we were after, so yeah.
Heading over to WA, what, beaches, pubs, what have you got in your sight there?
Whatever. we'll plan it throughout the weeks to come, and we'll see where we head.
Yeah, okay. I think we need some points. We'll have a victory, then we'll celebrate. Daniel McBreen has written you off on the coverage. As soon as your hot ball came out, he said, "Well, that's not going to be too much of an issue for Avondale." So, what have you got to say to Macca sitting there in his high castle back in the studio?
Well, we've made it this far, so we back ourselves against anyone, and whoever it is, we'll play against them. We don't fear anyone. So, yeah.
And there's no reason to fear them. They're scoring goals in 7 seconds down here. Tell me about that. Last week to get into this round of 32. You boys have just rolled out and scored in 7 seconds. How have you done that?
Yeah, it was a bit weird, but yeah, we like to get on the front foot in every game, and that's what we did in 7 seconds. But yeah, it's a bit different, but yeah, we'll take it.
I mean, do we draw the same play up for Avondale?
Oh, maybe. We'll see how we go.
Beautiful. Well, these boys are very much looking forward to a trip to WA. Avondale needs to be extra careful in the first 7 seconds, and Daniel McBreen, you need to be careful if they get through the round of 16 and they come to a city near you.
Thanks, mate. I'd just like to check that. Are they playing against Armidale? Have you got a bottle of wine there as well?
Avondale? Armidale?
Armidale, mate.
What did I say?
Avondale.
I think there must have been some wine in the Euros. Look, if Zappers can make mistakes about home and away, I can make mistakes about teams in WA. I've never been to WA. Give me a break.
Yeah, but Maxie, right? You're from South Australia,
I'm here for
mate.
the Modbury boys.
You never get it wrong, Maxie.
Oh, could score the goals in 7 seconds. Career can be over in 7 seconds as well. Maxie, thanks so much for
Hope you guys will have me back.
That was some great banter. I like what was going on there.
Well, they've got to get it right.
It was a good pickup too from Macca. You know, you'd think he was sort of in the fetal position because another club has added him to the black band.
Yeah, I know. What's going on? Everyone's picking on you tonight, Macca.
I'm just trying to be everyone's friend, and now I'm getting destroyed.
That's an exciting away trip, though. I like the way he was like, "What are you going to check out in WA?" I don't know. Yeah. Let's just get there first and see how we go. That's what it's all about, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Look, go over there, you get a good game in, and then hopefully you play well and you progress, and then you can enjoy it as a team.
Yeah, the first thing to check off is, are we travelling interstate? Who you're playing after that is the second consideration. Although I've got to say that does change very rapidly once the.
Remind me, which team turned up in the Hummer?
That was in Darwin.
Oh, that was a Darwin
one. That was Darwin,
yes.
Right? So that's how they arrived to their
Will
games.
the Mindelaces see them and raise them one?
What would be better than a stretch Hummer?
Well, we'll leave it to them. There's the challenge. There's a helicopter bungee jump out. How about that? Get some lessons from Thea Slatcher how to.
Oh, of course.
Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Now we're talking.
Down I don't know what they're coming down, but they'll get there. Tyne Diaz, what about for you and what's tickling your fancy? What's a highlight for one of these clashes for you as we take a look back at all of the draws in the round of 32, which does kick off on July the 21st?
Yeah, I'm looking at the draw here, and I think that Sydney United would be looking at the Monaro Panthers draw, thinking that they can really do something here. I know a couple of the players in the team, they're really not happy with how the season's been going thus far, and they've got fire in their belly, and they'll be ready to take this game on and thinking that they can progress quite far into the competition. So keeping a close eye on that one as well.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they go. It was quite surprising, really, wasn't it, that the only New South Wales NPL team in this comp, we see when we look at the Victorian clubs what large presence they have, but not so much from the teams around Sydney as well.
That's right, yeah, and that's the magic of the Cup and the Cup sets. It's been happening, and it looks like there could be some more on the way. There's some really big contests there, and I'm eager to see what happens for the next round.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Gents, looking forward to all of it. There's also the extravaganza, all of the exhibition games that are heading your way live across Network 10 as well. There is so much football heading your way. Liverpool, Man U, Leeds, Raw, Victory, all of them live and exclusive, of course, on Network 10 throughout the month of July. So we'll be pretty busy. Harps will be kicking back watching those ones as well.
But
it'll be great to see the
all
big powerhouse
curtain
football.
raisers for the Cup, the Australia Cup.
Because
great scene setters.
These are the scene setters nearly for the round of 32.
They are. Well, you're going to be just sitting back watching. Hey, I've got to go and work all these games.
That's all right.
I'm looking forward to it.
Just something that's occurred to me very quickly on the whole football thing and how well Football Victoria have done in the Cup.
Yes.
Then I look at the recent Socceroos team, and you could go around that starting 11 and there's one New South Wales player and 6 or 7 of the team are Victorians. And that is a big shift over the years because Sydney's always been the cradle and Adelaide. And now we're watching these NPL Victorian teams doing really well in the Cup over the years. And this is, of course, where the players will start their journey. And you look at the national team, the men's national team, and there's a preponderance of Victorian-based players in the first 11. There's something in that. So well done to Football Victoria and the clubs there for getting cracking.
Must be something in the water in Victoria, a bit of a changing of the guard when it comes to who the powerhouses in the NPL and playing football are. Tana Dares, thank you so much for your time and your company tonight, as well as Andy Harper and Daniel McBreen. I don't know how many friends you made tonight, though, Macca. I've got to be honest.
I'm going to go in a room and cry, I think.
Thank you so much for joining us at home. A big congratulations to all 32 teams who will be playing in the Australia Cup. And don't forget you can catch it live right here across Network 10, and it all does kick off on July the 21st. Thanks for joining us tonight. Have a very good night. We'll see you soon.
Boland! Fantastic! Green Gully are on the verge of a major upset. What a finish! Had to be, didn't it? It's a first trophy for Melbourne City. Adelaide United's inaugural Cup winners. Sydney FC, then Whitney Cup.